This is our show of all the people in all the world, which uses, very simply, a grain of rice to represent a person. From that, we're able to tell stories about population statistics around the world. In order to work out how many people I shared the planet with, I knew I'd have to try and find a lot of very small objects that are of a consistent size and are cheap and don't roll around when you put them down. And where I live in Birmingham, there's a big Asian community and there are massive bags of rice in all the corner shops. And after my calculations, I found out that in order to see the whole world's population represented in rice, at the time, 10 years ago, we needed 104 tonnes of the stuff. This is all Australian grown rice that we're using, and the statistics we're showing today are mostly focused around Australia and countries from the GMT +8 time zone. So the biggest pile in the room is the world's population as it stood in 1770, which is about 2/3 of the population that China currently has. Over here we've got the population of Australia, the population of Perth. Here we've got the population of Shanghai that is very close to the population of Australia. People are often concerned about us using food products, so we put in this pile, which is about the amount of food that's wasted in China each day, and each grain represents somebody who could live on the food waste in China. This is a pile of rice representing a grain for everyone who will eat in McDonald's today around the world, which is roughly the population of the UK as well. Over here we've got all the refugees in the world and all the world's millionaires. We've got Australian millionaires beside that, along with billionaires from the world, and the 11 grains that are for Australian billionaires. All the world's prisoners in Australia, barristers in Australia, those who got divorced in Australia in 2011, but more optimistically, the larger pile of people who got married in Australia that year. The show's going to be in Perth for 3 weeks, so it evolves all the way through that time. This room will gradually fill up with statistics. This impressive pile is everyone who watched this year's Eurovision Song Contest around the world. Kylie Minogue, that's all her Twitter followers, and Julia Gillard's Twitter followers are beside them. The more upsetting and worrying statistics in the show are around health and disease. This big pile is everyone who died of influenza around the First World War. And set aside that are the people who died in the world from the swine flu virus. This is all the people living with HIV in sub-Saharan Africa. We're just about to show how many of those are receiving retroviral treatments. We're going to do a whole sequence about immunisation as well. Over here we've got a pile of all the children who will die this year from diseases for which vaccinations exist. A shocking and upsetting statistic, we're also going to show the big efforts that are going on to get everyone vaccinated. That's 2.6 million children. When we first started doing this show 10 years ago, it was 3 million. So 400,000 less than it used to be. For me, the main thing about us being a theatre company doing this show is that the Rice tells stories. And there are beginnings, middles, ends, there's setups and punchlines, there's tension and release. So it's a dramatic form, albeit very, very slow moving in Rice.